person nobody can resist, and that's a baby. So love made baby soft.
Prepare to be shocked. In this video, we're diving into the archives to unearth 20 vintage ads from the past that would be banned in today's world of heightened sensitivity and awareness. Get ready for a glimpse into a bygone era of advertising controversy. Number 20. The chef does everything but cook. Kenwood Chef. In this ad, the husband appears to even win brownie points for giving his wife an appliance. The proud man of the house anticipates better food since he was thoughtful enough to buy a mixer that whisks eggs and makes dough. But it doesn't fry bacon or eggs or grill steaks. It doesn't wash the dishes or do the laundry. It doesn't clean the house or sweep the floor. Since this thoughtful gift obviously does not do everything but cook, perhaps the husband could help out with some of the chores or take his wife out to dinner. Even though women were advocating for an equal share of the workforce, societal norms still dictated that women be dutiful housewives. The 60s and 70s were filled with cultural references sharing the belief that women should stay at home, keeping house and raising the children, and advertising played into this old-fashioned notion with ads like this one that states that women are supposed to cook for their husbands. It seemed as though the advertising companies were doing their part to reverse any progress that women's lib made by continuing with sexist ads like this one. Number 19. Coca-Cola used to claim that they could cure headaches. In this ad, Coca-Cola is marketed as a delightful beverage that relieves not just headaches, but also mental and physical exhaustion. There is some truth here, especially if it's based on the original formulation of the carbonated soft drink, which contained cocaine from the coca leaf and caffeine from the cola nut. Cocaine and caffeine are both stimulants that address your exhaustion and make you more mentally alert and awake. Like a brain tonic, it treats headaches, migraines, and drowsiness. However, while high doses of caffeine can cause insomnia, anxiety, restlessness, as well as increased heart rate and respiration, high doses of cocaine lead to more severe effects such as paranoia, psychosis, convulsions, permanent damage to the blood vessels of your heart and brain, and even sudden death. Number 18. Heroin used to be prescribed for cough relief. Bayer Pharmaceuticals. Nothing quiets a cough like heroin. At least that's what this old ad claims. It is even from Bayer, a trusted pharmaceutical company that has been in the business for a long time. Heroin has a long history of medicinal uses, but it is also highly addictive and dangerous when not used properly. This is why, in 1924, heroin joined a list of other drugs to be banned in the United States. That, of course, didn't stop people from using the drug illegally. We are still fighting the battle against heroin addiction today. Nothing deals with cough and bronchitis, pulmonary tuberculosis, whooping cough, and other related diseases, as well as heroin. According to Bayer and its 1895 ad, heroin hydrochloride has been adapted for the production of cough elixirs, balsams, drops, lozenges, and medicines of any kind. This all-encompassing and most affordable solution to relieve coughs is efficient in very small doses and can be bought over the counter. Bayer promoted heroin as a non-addictive alternative to morphine, but the drug, also known as dimorphine, soon had one of the highest rates of addiction among its users. It's bizarre how decades ago, this highly addictive and dangerous drug was advertised and commercialized by a well-known and trusted pharmaceutical company. Though the opioid is still used medically in several countries to relieve pain, its manufacture, sale, and use for non-medicinal purposes is illegal in the United States. Number 17. If your wife can't cook. The inability to cook must have been a divorceable offense back when this ad was created. Of course, the role of housewife was to cook, clean, and care for the children, so if she smirked at her duties in one of these areas, it was only natural for the husband to want to fire her. But this ad urges husbands to keep their ineffective wife. We aren't sure what this ad is trying to promote. Maybe it is an anti-divorce PSA or an ad for takeout dining. A wife's inability to cook must have been grounds for divorce at the time this ad was created. Since the wife's main occupation involved cooking, cleaning, maintaining the house, and caring for the children, if she failed to do one of her roles, then the husband can simply fire her. However, this ad says that there's no need to divorce your wife if she cannot prepare a decent meal. While it gives men an option to eat elsewhere, its suggestion to keep women for a pet is completely offensive. Even though this public service announcement was perhaps an effort to discourage divorce in a supposedly funny ad, it's extremely sexist and insulting in the manner it relegated women, wives, to the level of household pets. Number 16. Jockey underwear advertisement. In 1955, Jockey ran an ad campaign for their junior brief and t-shirt products that featured boys shoving guns into their briefs. It's hard to imagine what the ad men were thinking when they came up with this advertisement. Perhaps they needed to show that the underwear was durable and kept its form despite repeated use and washing. What better way to demonstrate that junior briefs stayed snug than by showing how its elastic band can keep a gun securely in place? Were they out of their minds? Though it was common to find a gun in every American home decades ago, it is not a good idea to advertise a child casually handling a firearm, more so without the supervision of an adult. The mother in the first picture seemed proud to see her young son holding a gun, while the other mother was busy with the laundry. While gun culture has been the center of many debates in the U.S. for decades, we can all agree that children should not be handling firearms until they are much older and more responsible. Number 15. Marlboro Cigarettes Advertisement. Doctors endorse smoking of cigarettes. Santa Claus carried a sack of gifts in one hand and a cigarette in the other hand, so seeing fathers smoking isn't really a big deal. What's disturbing is how this Marlboro ad used cute babies to promote smoking, and it seems they even know which brand is best. Passive smoking is just as bad as smoking, and since children are more susceptible to the effects of secondhand smoke, adults should be responsible enough not to smoke when there are children around. According to the ad, the miracle of Marlboro is that you need never feel over-smoked, referring to the effects of smoking too many cigarettes over a short period of time. Regardless, if you smoke too much or not, if you care about your health or not, these poor babies should not be exposed to secondhand smoke. Number 14. The more you play with it, the harder it gets. Sega Games Company Limited. It doesn't get cruder than this. Sega did an amazingly vulgar job promoting family entertainment with an obviously phallic ad. Everything about this ad, from the image to the caption to the text, hints at men's self-gratification. And this is just one of the video game company's many overly graphic ads. In another advert, the company asks which pair will be biggest on the beach, followed by an image of a huge pair of breasts in a bikini top and another drawing of a man's hairy privates bulging out of a Speedo. It seems Sega missed the memo to comply with legal regulations and not present certain types of adult content in ads. Sexually explicit content such as masturbation is not allowed under any condition. Number 13. Santa smoking Lucky Strike cigarettes. Since everyone was smoking in the 30s and 40s, I suppose it is only natural to assume that Santa Claus was as well. Good old St. Nick is often featured in advertisements. Even today, we see the jolly old elf promoting soft drinks, GPS units, fast food, and more. But today, we don't expect to see St. Nick with a cigarette in his hand. One positive we see, the smoke won't make Santa's red suit smell like a chimney. It probably already reeks of smoke from all the chimney climbing he does on Christmas Eve. While Santa's making that list and checking it twice, he might be surprised to find his name under who's been naughty and not nice. It wasn't enough that doctors, auditors, and accountants backed up the claim that Luckies protect your throat against irritation and coughing. The American Tobacco Company also got St. Nicholas holding a cigarette and professing that Luckies are easy on his throat. Tisk tisk, Santa won't be smelling like a chimney, but like Luckies. While Santa's been featured in many jolly advertisements, including milk commercials, soft drink billboards, magazine subscriptions, and Christmas sale ads, it's unlikely we'll see any posters with Father Christmas smoking a cigarette today. Number 12. Don't Shoot, Fredericks of Hollywood. Suicide is nothing to joke about, yet this ad is making light of it by implying that a girl may be tempted to commit suicide if she has nothing new to wear. This ad is insensitive, but there may be a ring of truth to it. Teens who are bullied are more likely to consider suicide as a solution to their bullying problem. Often, teens are bullied because of the clothes they wear, because they don't have the latest styles, or because their style doesn't fit in with the rest of the students. So we can see an indirect link between clothing and suicide in this ad, but it is still insensitive and in poor taste. This atrocious ad by Fredericks makes light of suicide, showing a woman tempted to shoot herself in the head because she has nothing to wear. Obviously, the intent is to be humorous, but there is nothing funny about suicide. Not only is this ad insensitive, but it also poorly handles a self-destructive intent that does exist. Suicidal thoughts are common among many people who experience stress, anxiety, or depression. Some of these impulsive acts are caused by interpersonal problems, such as breakups and bullying, and unfortunately, some teens are teased and tormented because of the clothes they wear. Yes, there is a connection between having nice clothing and suicide, but to use that correlation to sell a product is not only insensitive, it's also done in poor taste. Instead of helping prevent anyone from taking his or her own life, the ad stimulates suicidal ideation. Rather than telling readers to send 25 cents for a catalog of dresses, shoes, and lingerie, the ad should encourage people with suicidal thoughts to ask for help. Number 11. A girl-sized hand needs a girl-sized pen. Parker Pens. I am sure that the leadership of Parker Pens thought they were creating a product that solved a problem when they introduced their new girl-sized pens, but in fact, they were feeding into the belief that females were smaller and weaker and not capable of competing in a man's world. The smaller pens that were supposed to be designed to fit a woman's smaller hand did not help to promote gender equality. If anything, it tried to show that women could not keep pace with men unless they had special accommodations made for them, like diminutive office supplies. The big bosses of Parker Pen Company were probably giving each other pats on the back, thinking they just created an amazing product with the compact jotter, a dainty luxury pen that was supplied with the same amount of ink as their regular pen and can write up to 80,000 words without refilling. Perhaps the new product was fine, considerate even, until they kept comparing girl-sized hands with their man-sized jotter. They just implied that women are smaller and weaker and should be given a miniature version of a man's pen because they cannot handle the standard man-sized jotter. This ad did nothing to help promote gender equality. Moreover, it's just a pen. It's already a small thing to begin with. The women had handled bigger and heavier tools when they helped win World War II. That's little enough for a pen. Also sounds awfully patronizing. Number 10. The White Man's Burden. Pears Soap. Here is one of the first of many Pears Soap ads that would have been fine if the goal was simply to promote cleanliness and proper hygiene. But the emphasis on teaching the virtues of cleanliness being the white man's burden is incredibly racist. It's also hard to miss the implication of lightening not just the burden but also the color. Like a savior, the white man in a pristine white uniform, coming from the cultured of all nations and bringing the ideal toilet soap, will be the brightening of the dark corners of the earth. This ad from the early 1900s elevated the white race to superior and almost divine heights while managing to put down all other races of color to a disparaging low level, suggesting that all ethnicities outside this select circle of civilized nations, particularly those with dark skin tone, need to be saved with toilet soap. Number 9. Good thing he kept his head. Mr. Legs. Mr. Legs Pants was known for releasing some of the most provocative and sexist print ads in the 1950s. Many of their ads, like this one, are loaded with sexual innuendo and double meanings that take the ad from edgy to sexist and perverted. In this ad, the obvious double meaning is on the word head, but we are also a bit creeped out that the guy is burying the woman alive, and more so that he saved the head. But where is his head? All we see is a woman's disembodied head on the floor. Or is that sand? Why would you wear slacks and Oxfords to the beach? And then you realize that it's one of Mr. Leg's many sexist print ads. The infamous ad campaign for men's slacks showed the superiority of males and the degrading position of females. While the goal was probably to show how the man became incredibly irresistible when he wore his first pair of Mr. Leg's slacks, she couldn't keep her hands off of him, but emphasized the line, "Good thing he kept his head," and the following image made whatever attempt at humor tasteless and offensive. The sexual innuendo and double meaning on the word head are undeniably sexist and perverted. At the bottom of the ad, there's an offer to send for a leg gauge to find out if the girl has perfect legs. Let a sexist and perverted company measure your legs? No thank you. Number 8. Good things are twice as good in cellophane. DuPont Cellophane. There's a reason why there are warning labels on plastic bags saying not to put small children inside the bags. It is because people actually did what ads like this suggested and put their infants in airtight plastic bags. Really? The ad copy promotes the sanitary qualities of the cellophane, noting that it provides a great protection from dirt and bacteria. Unknowing parents, wanting to protect their children, did what they were told to do: seal their kids up in plastic. The public had to learn the hard way that plastic is airtight. Because one baby inside a plastic bag is not horrifying enough, let's have 2 babies to cause permanent trauma to our minds. Aren't there warning labels on plastic bags that remind adults to keep the bag away from babies and children to avoid the risk of suffocation? This ad did just the exact opposite and wrapped twin baby boys in plastic, then stated, "Good things are twice as good in cellophane." The wordplay on the word twice just doubled our anxiety about children's safety. Sure, cellophane is not exactly plastic, and it's biodegradable unlike plastic, but its production requires the use of toxic chemicals such as carbon disulfate, sulfuric acid, sodium sulfate, and glycerin. So yes, the babies are not just swathed in a transparent sheet. The product of noxious substances is also rubbing against their baby soft skin. Lastly, tying the cellophane bag with a blue ribbon does not help at all. Number 7. Kellogg's ad promoting PEP. Here's another ad that seems to push the idea that women should be at their happiest when they are cooking, cleaning, doing laundry, and caring for the children. How does she do it all? Is she some kind of Wonder Woman? No, she's just loaded up with vitamins and energy pills. According to this ad, the vitamin pills will even give the happy housewife enough energy to keep on cleaning, even after her husband gets home from his 9-to-5 job. On top of that, the pills will even make her prettier. It sounds far-fetched, but the ad states that a husband's number one desire is to have a cute, hard-working cleaning machine for a wife. Somebody please revise this ad. Instead of promoting the vitamin-enriched cereal that keeps the woman happy and vibrant after a long, busy day at home, while her husband looks exhausted when he arrives from his 9-to-5 job, this chauvinistic ad highlights that a wife looks prettier the more housework she gets done. What was Kellogg's thinking with this ad from 1932? Complete with an apron, a feather duster, and a big smile on her face, the ad boosts the idea that women are happiest when they're dusting, sweeping, preparing meals, washing the dishes, doing the laundry, and caring for the children. And they're happy to do all these while wearing high-heeled pumps. Yes, a bowl of whole wheat breakfast cereal in the morning will turn your wife into an adorable cleaning machine. There's nothing like drudging domesticity to make a wife look even lovelier for her husband. Ugh. Number 6. Loose women may also be loaded with disease. PSA. Clearly targeted for men, this public service announcement is a reminder to lonely traveling businessmen, returning sailors and servicemen, and curious boys that ladies with loose morals are as dangerous as loaded guns. The ad even points out that V should stand for victory, not venereal disease. Curiously, the PSA doesn't mention pregnancy as a possible side effect to one-night stands. Instead, the focus seems to be on the men and the ramifications to them if they get involved with promiscuous women. This ad serves as a reminder for men, particularly lonely businessmen on the road, sailors docked at ports, and servicemen returning from the war, that women with loose morals are just as dangerous as loaded guns. In fact, the ad doesn't even bother with subtlety by using a metaphor. The ad just crassly states that loose women may also be loaded with disease. The terrible attempt at figurative speech does not end with a gun being loaded with bullets, while a promiscuous woman was loaded with disease. The ad also points out how V should stand for victory and not venereal diseases. The public service announcement is also rather one-sided, focusing on the diseases that men can get if they engage in one-night stands with easy women. However, there is a failure to mention unwanted pregnancies and the STDs women can get from men. Number 5. Colored kids make a costume vastly more attractive. F. Blumenthal and Company. The people behind this thought they were being witty and creative with their wordplay on the words colored kids, but today, everything about this ad, from the picture to its text, is racist and offensive. The fashion publicity company and Amalgamated Leather Companies Incorporated used the term colored kids to refer to their footwear. At that time, kids referred to kidskin boots or shoes made out of goat skin, much like how we use the term kicks to refer to shoes today. FB&C was a popular dyed kidskin that comes in a wide range of colors, shades, and styles to be paired perfectly with any gown. The ad men could have easily drawn a picture of a woman choosing from a wide selection of shoes to complement a full closet of gowns, but once again, they thought they were being clever by including both colored kidskin boots and colored children to promote their colored kids' footwear. It was not only racist and offensive, but it was also unnecessary to include children in a picture that, when rephrased, simply says, dyed kidskin boots make an outfit more attractive. Number 4. Chase and Sanborn coffee ad. Coffee with a side of domestic abuse? Far from being partners in a marriage. This ad seems to reinforce the idea that the husband is the head of the household and the one in charge. The wife is his subservient. Like a misbehaving child, the wife should be punished if she defies her husband's wishes, like giving him the wrong kind of coffee. The image in this advertisement shows the husband spanking his wife as a form of punishment, not in a kinky sort of way. Most of us enjoy a good cup of coffee, but this ad will leave a bitter taste in your mouth. We're sure coffee freshness is not as grave and serious as a matter as domestic abuse. This ad by Chase and Sanborn implies that men can and will punish their wives if they brought flat, stale coffee instead of the fresh one the company packed and sold in sealed, pressurized cans. This ad reinforces the idea that the husband is the dominant figure in the household, who can discipline his wife like he would a misbehaving child, although excessive corporal punishment is now also forbidden. The ad also implies that inflicting injury on the woman you promise to cherish is acceptable whenever she defies your wishes, even if it's just as trivial as a cup of coffee. Violence against women remains a problem even in modern society, and this ad publicized how it is normal for a husband to hurt and humiliate his spouse. Number 3. Data comp. With her long tanned legs and short dress, this young lady doesn't fit the image of a computer nerd at all. Office machines were revolutionizing the American workplace in the 60s, but as this ad shows, no matter the innovation, there should be a sexy secretary on hand in every office. Ads, commercials, and even TV shows, movies, and books of the decade often featured the sexy secretary trope to play on the viral businessman's hot secretary fantasy. To be fair, the machine does look more like a typewriter than a computer. We can show it to any man or woman born in the 90s or later, and they might ask the same question. In fact, even personal computers from the 80s did not look like that. Where's the monitor? The Datacomp 404 is a digital processor. Yes, it's a computer even with the missing monitor. That was considered small but with big computer features. And this was a massive step in technology and innovation many decades ago. However, the 1960s ad by Datacomp did not endorse how amazing their new product was as well as they did in typecasting secretaries in the office. Sadly, at a time when office machines were modernizing the workplace, the promotional ad did women no favors. Wearing a short dress that flaunted her long legs, this ad stereotyped a woman's role as the all-powerful CEO's sexy secretary. Yet another depiction of a man's superiority over women, not just in the household but also in the workplace. Number 2. This is no shape for a girl, Warner's. This ad doesn't preach a "you're beautiful just the way you are" message, just the opposite. In fact, it is telling pear-shaped women with smaller busts and larger butts that their body shape is not desirable and should therefore be changed. Wire-reinforced girdles and padded bras will conceal the wearer's God-given body and present her with a more flattering silhouette. This ad is a prime example of how advertisers have defined beauty standards and caused generations of women to suffer from poor body image and low self-esteem. Even though some women wear Spanx and other brands of shapewear to boost their confidence or for better posture, today's men and women embrace all kinds of curves. Unfortunately, this ad from Warner's bluntly illustrates that women with pear-shaped bodies with smaller busts and wider hips are not desirable. The 1968 ad offers products that can reshape a woman's body. A fibber bra and a concentrate girdle to even out your body and have what the narrow-minded folk considered a flattering figure. Ads like this made generations of women suffer from low self-esteem. Instead of being proud of their God-given body, they adhere to the beauty standards defined by companies and advertisers that take advantage of their poor self-image in order to make more sales. However, studies show that pear-shaped women are healthier than those with hourglass or apple-shaped figures. With most of the fat accumulation in their fuller rear and rounder hips, the fat is less likely to travel around the body, thus reducing the risk of heart disease. Also, women with these proportions look amazing in all sorts of tops, from fun statement skirts to fitted crew neck sweaters. Number 1. Loves Baby Soft. Loves Baby Soft. Admittedly, there's a certain degree of sexiness to innocence, but that definitely doesn't apply to a 5-year-old little girl. No matter how much makeup she is wearing, how done up her hair is, and how revealing her clothing is, there's nothing sexy about a child. This young girl is dolled up to look way older than she is, and the fragrance is supposed to add to her appeal so that men find her innocence to be attractive. In all, this ad seems to encourage pedophilia. This ad is all sorts of wrong. The sexualization of a child and her innocence is horrifying and unacceptable. Love Cosmetics' slogan, "Because innocence is sexier than you think," combined with a picture of a very young girl who appears to be no older than 10 and has been dolled up with big curls and heavy makeup, is just wrong. It seems to be encouraging all the creepy pedophiles to come out of the woodwork and buy the product. Evidently set up to combine purity and sensuality, with a cuddly white teddy bear, a white dress, a child with piercing blue eyes and slightly open lips, the people behind the ad that was supposedly aimed at young women failed to see the big difference between young women and young children. Even more bizarre, the hand hugging the bear in the picture does not look like it belongs to the child, but to a grown woman. Which banned ad surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more eye-opening content. Thanks for watching.